Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a review today on solve systems graphically, how to solve systems by graphing. Um, and I just mentioned that if there's any work that you haven't done that's past due, go ahead and complete it. I'm going to give everyone until Saturday to complete the assignments this week to make sure that everyone has a chance, especially if you've been at home for a while. Okay? So let's begin. Everyone go to example number 1. Okay? Example number 1. So this is a system of equations, right? When you have 2 or more linear equations. We're just doing the variety where there's just 2. Remember, guys, what we want to do is make sure that the equations are in slope-intercept form. Okay? Because that way we can identify the slope and the y-intercept. And use those to graph. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. Help me out, please. If I have the equation y equals x minus 2, what's my slope number? What's the rise over run I want to use there? I could say 1. So 1 over 1, since I want to rise in a run. Okay. And the y-intercept would be this number, -2. So we've done this quite a bit, so hopefully this will go quickly. If we're using a slope and a y-intercept, take the y-intercept value first, -2. Find -2 on the y-axis. That's your starting point. And then you use the rise and the run. The rise is 1. The run is 1. So you go up 1 and across 1. There's my line. Okay. So for our next line, the slope is -1 over 5, right? It's right there. And the y-intercept's -8. So let's use those to graph our second line. So -1, I'm sorry, y-intercept's -8. And then the slope is -1 over 5. So we can do down 1 to the right 5. Oops, one more. And there's our second line. And what we're looking for is this point here. And we want to write that as a solution, as an ordered pair. Basically, it's the ordered pair where both points intersect. And what would that be? What's the x value there? -5. And the y value is -7. Thank you. So the solution would be -5, -7. Let's submit that. Okay. So as long as both equations are in slope-intercept form, this is not too bad. Let's do one more where they're both in slope-intercept form. We're going to move on to example 2 now, okay? And as you can tell right away, both equations, once again, are in slope-intercept form. So here it's -1. So what's the slope number? And the y-intercept is +4, so just 4. So let's find 4, and then we'll use the slope. So we're going to go to 4 on the y-axis, and we'll go down 1 and to the right 1. There is the first line. And let's move on to the second one. The slope value is 2. So I can rewrite that as 2 over 1. And the y-intercept is -5. So let's find -5 on the y-axis first. And then we'll go up 2 over 1. All right. So here we go. Looks like it does intersect. This is the common point, 3, 1. So 3, 1 would be the solution. The only point they have in common. Okay. So that's 2 examples down. Let's try examples 3 and 4. So for 3 and 4, we are going to have to solve one or both of the equations, or I'm sorry, rewrite it in slope-intercept form. So for these, you will need some scratch paper for part of it. Okay? So here's where you definitely will need to do a little bit of scratch work. But let's do the first one. This y-intercept is -2, so find -2 on your y-axis. And then the slope is 1 over 3, so you go up 1 to the right 3. There's your 2 points. So as long as our equation is in slope-intercept form, we're good. No need to do any extra work. However, if we notice, the second equation is not, and we want it to look like this: y equals mx plus b. Sometimes it will be very easy, like this one, won't require too much work. Sometimes it will. So write down that equation, and we want to rewrite this equation that's in standard form right now, in slope-intercept form, which is basically rewrite it so y is isolated, all by itself. And we can do it in one move. What should we do? Subtract x. Basically, subtracting x moves it to the other side of the equation, right? By subtracting it. Because that would make 0, and you're left with y. And then you've got -x, and then +6, so it's +6. Okay, so now we know the slope. -1 over +1, and the y-intercept, of course, is 6. So that one was easy. Just move the x over to the other side. Okay? So we know it crosses here at 6. And then to find the second point, you go down 1 and to the right 1. And it looks like this one crosses right at the x-axis at 6. So my coordinates are 6, 0. Okay. Yes. We're going to go with 6, 0. Okay. So let's do the last one here. Example 4. Okay. So let's see. First we graph our first point, -1. So I'm going to take -1 and find it on the y-axis. And then I've got -2/3. So help me out, guys. What do I do to find that second point? Up or down? Down. And it's -2, so down 2. And then that would make the denominator +3. So we go to the 1, 2, 3. That was easy. Okay. Now for the second one, here's our equation. We got to do a little scratch work. First move, get rid of the x. Move it to the other side of the equation. You can subtract it if you like. I'm going to rewrite it. If I move it over, what's left on the left side of the equation? That's all. And on the other side, this x becomes a, yes. So remember that shortcut? Okay. So now we want to get rid of that negative 3. But it's being multiplied with y, so we have to undo that multiplication by dividing. So divide on every term, we're going to divide out negative 3. To cancel this. Okay, and that would give us just y, which is what we wanted. What do we get here? Remembering this is really a negative 1.
1/3. It's just 1/3.
Yeah, it's 1/3 x. Numerator is 1, denominator is 3. Negative divided by negative makes it positive, and then the x. So the slope is 1/3. And now we have negative 6 divided by negative 3, so that's positive 2. So plus 2. So now we know the slope, 1/3. Now we know that the line crosses at positive 2. Let's find it right there. Then we go up 1 across 3 to the right. And hopefully this crosses at a nice point. It does at negative 3, positive 1. Okay. And that should be the last one if we did it correctly. Oh, come on. Won't let me do it until I erase this. Let's try it again. Got it. Okay, so that's the assignment for today. We're just reviewing solving systems by graphing. Tomorrow we'll review solving systems algebraically. But remember, catch up with everything by Saturday. Okay, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.